you had some plans about what you might do to pass the time once you got to Houston, and then you were telling me that your plans might not go off as you'd hope because of, and this is a good thing. Some of the things that the precautions they're taking for media members and I assume fighters and company people and all that. Why don't you, we were going to talk about this later, but why don't you talk about it now? Like about some of the stuff that they're having you do.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, and this applies to not just media; it applies to everybody, all the fighters, all the people in training camps, all employees, as far as I know. So basically, what they do, they split the week into 2 weeks. It's fight week activities and then fight day. So to be a part of any of the fight week activities, you have to go through, a COVID test and a quarantine. So they split the fight week activities into Wednesday's a media day, Thursday's a press conference, and Friday's a weigh-ins. In order to go to all three of those, you would have to arrive to wherever, whether it's Houston or it's Glendale or it's Las Vegas or wherever, you would have to arrive on Tuesday. I stuck to my usual plan most of the times, especially if like this is a show where I'm driving to, so I don't ever go down until Thursday. Sometimes I'll get into town Wednesday or Thursday. But anyway, because I am going down Thursday, I can only go to the weigh-ins because when I get there on Thursday, I have to take a COVID test. Even though I'm vaccinated, it's still required. I have to go through a COVID test, and then I have to quarantine until I get a clear, and then I can go to the weigh-ins, the official ones and the ceremonial ones. But after the weigh-ins, everybody, and I'm talking about media, fighters, camps, announcers, anybody, everyone has to go back to the host hotel, which I'm staying at, the same hotel that the UFC is. So it's very convenient for me. But everybody has to go take another COVID test and quarantine for fight day. So when you hear, all these fights that get canceled, on the day of the show or, the night before the show, but mainly the day of the show, it's from all those tests that they take Friday. And they give you a window. For the time. You don't have to like immediately go after there's a 6-hour window. So, you can go grab a bite to eat somewhere and then before you go test and all that. But some things like stuff I like to do whenever I go to UFC events, especially like in cities that have when it's baseball season. I like to go to baseball games and all that. Unfortunately, in theory, you can't do any of that because I'm supposed to take a COVID test and go quarantine. I could, but if I get caught, my credentials get pulled for the week. I'm not allowed to go to the show, and I'm not one of those that's going to, sneak around and try to bend the rules. If somebody asks me to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. My whole reason of going down there is, to go see the show on Saturday. So that's basically, it kind of gives you all a little bit of an insight of how, even though that UFC is in these full arenas, they're taking every precaution they can with the people that they can, take, precautions with. So
now a couple of questions. Do you have any idea how long it normally takes to get the COVID test back? Have you talked to anybody?
From what I know, you could say I go get a test at 6 p.m. I could get, results within a couple hours, or they usually wait until the very next morning to send you. They send you text messages.
So by the morning. So you get weighed in after the weigh-ins, which are earlier in the day. So you may go have lunch, come back 2-3 o'clock, get tested.
Yeah, we
at the latest you're at the.
The testing we can actually do after the ceremonial weigh-in. So like the testing.
That's at 5, right?
Yeah, it's at 4, but the testing windows each day. If you get down there, Wednesday, you can test Wednesday for Thursday and Friday, blah blah blah,
right?
Blah blah blah. You can test anywhere from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. So they give you a 6-hour window to where you can actually test. They're not saying you have to come here at this exact time and do all that. So.
And then you probably get the results in the morning.
Yeah, for sure. Like
okay,
I know.
So that's my question I'm asking is because I remember and I was thinking about this on the when I was watching the fights on Saturday, and Anik made a comment to DC, something like, "Oh, it's going to be tough for you to do that afternoon tee off time, or you'll be able to do the afternoon tee off time before the fight start, or something like that." And I was thinking, like, would he even have time? Because if he's got a quarantine, but I guess if you've got your results, then you're free to do whatever before the fight start, like between, like 10 o'clock and.
Yeah, I've known from a lot of media members who've covered shows that they literally wake up that at some point over the night, they get a text message, because they just send you a text message telling you if you're good to go or if you're not. And like a lot of times they send those messages at like 4 or 5 a.m. So usually by the time you wake up.
Once you get that, you're good to go.
Yeah,
right?
You're good to go. So
okay. So in that sense, like, I guess for PFL, like when we had Tom on, a couple weeks ago, and he couldn't leave his hotel room until the fight. Basically, like he could go weigh in, he could go train, but that was it. This is, it's good. Like I'm very happy that they're doing all this.
Yeah, they tell you in the emails, don't arrive before X certain time. So the weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins are at 9 a.m. They tell you don't arrive before 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Arrive between 8 and 8:45. A lot of times, pre-COVID with weigh-ins, a lot of people, and I'm one of those, usually the first usually on weeks where I go, the first person there is either me or John Morgan, and it's usually about 7:15, because you can, you get there, you get your preferred seat, but now they're doing assigned seating at weigh-ins, assigned seating, they always do assigned seating cage side. So that's not a big deal. So, for, official weigh-ins, I could just, since I'm staying in the same hotel, I could sleep till 8:30, wake up and just go downstairs and be right there, instead of having to,
because you got your seat anyways. It doesn't matter when you get there.
Instead of trying to get,
as long as you're on time.
Yeah.
And then have breakfast after the weigh-ins.